Gone in White's Market and see if it still stinks of fish. The bridges, guys, we're getting kicked out. Let's check out Sunnyside, guys. Absolutely red hot in here. It's like a greenhouse. Lol. 1879. Wow. Run down. That's probably the best way to describe it. That's an absolute mouth sensation. Welcome back to the vlog, guys. We are heading straight into town today. I'm going to be having a mooch around as much as I can get through. I got loads of recommendations from you on Facebook the other day. I'm going to try and get around as much as possible. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's do this. Now, I did touch on the town a little bit in the last video last week, but I didn't really get around the whole thing. I want to go through the likes of the bridges. I want to check out White's Market. And I might even hit up the museum and the winter gardens on that as well. So absolutely loads in the works for today, guys. Going to be plenty of steps, hopefully. The weather's really chilly today. That's why I've got me big coat on. So a load of steps. I'll warm us up just nicely. Oh, this is actually open now. Last time I was down here, this little bridge wasn't open. I thought they'd closed it permanently with them closing Marks and Spencer's, but apparently not. Apparently it's still open. We'll check out this from here, guys. The awesome mural on the side of there. I think that's another one of Frank Styles' artworks. I've seen his paintings all over the place. I thought it was just Hendon where he did all his work, but I've seen them all over. I think I seen one in Castletown the other day. So hats off to him, man. He has done a cracking job with them paintings. Absolute local legend. Let's head straight into town. Marks and Spencer's on the right there. Still closed, still derelict. Will it ever be taken over? Will it ever be open once again? Who knows? I haven't got high hopes, if I'm being honest. With the rate that these shops are closing down and they never seem to reopen. Such a shame. But I fancy a coffee. I need someone to wake us up very early. It's like, what time is it? It might even be too early for coffee shops, you know. 20 to 9. I imagine coffee shops might not open until about 9ish. So it might be just a case of having a wander and see what we can find. Let's go. I do want to come back up this way actually later on. Because I'm going to be checking out a place called Pied to try some food. They've invited us down to try some pie and some mash. So we'll try that later on. And I want to nip into Sports Direct as well. I'm going to pick up a new cap. I've had this one for far too long. So we'll get a new cap later on. But I was in here on Friday. The 3 stories. I didn't vlog it. Just went out for a date night. And we had some pizza and some chips and that. And it was really nice. First time I'd ever been in that building. It's spread out across 3 floors. And each floor has got a different theme. And it's actually really nice, but I heard online that it's supposedly struggling financially. So get yourselves down to the 3 stories, guys. Beautiful places like that, we didn't want to lose them. And we will end up losing them if you didn't use them. So make sure you get yourselves out and about and support these local businesses, guys. So I think I'm going to start down the bottom end of town actually. And then I'll just kind of snake me way up and around back to the top end. I've got about 3-4 hours to kill today out filming, so we should be able to get plenty squeezed in that time. Also later on I'm doing a podcast for the Content Cast on YouTube. I've never done a podcast in my life. The lad reached out to us and we sent a couple of voice notes back and forth, and we've actually got a lot in common from what I've heard. We both used to work at Asda for one, and then we're both kind of amongst the YouTube scene and that now, so we're going to sit down, have a chat, meeting each other for the first time, just get to know each other on camera. And I'll leave the link to that podcast in the description of this video. So I'm going to head right down to the bottom of town and let's see what it's all about. As you have probably seen, I'm on my own today. I ain't got any bodyguards. Someone keeps calling John and Dale bodyguards on Facebook. It's so funny. It's like I kind of just get out with my mates without them being my bodyguards. So I'm by myself today. So these behind us there, these like, I don't know if they're flats or apartments. I've been in a few of them and they're actually really nice, lovely apartments, slap bang in the middle of the town. And from the top floor, when you're looking out across the city, it's an amazing view. So lovely flats there in the town. But I absolutely love this side of town, Sunnyside. It's got like a different feel to it compared to the other parts of town. What's that? Kind of feels a little bit like the East End. You know, it's got that old school look to it. All the buildings are like very old, whereas like up near Kale Square it's all getting modern. Kind of gone anywhere, we're getting beeps all hour. But I didn't spend much time down this end of town, to be honest. So I'm not really sure what sort of shops and stuff's down here. It'd be nice if we could find a little cafe down here somewhere and grab a coffee. Let's check out Sunnyside, guys. By the looks of it, it kind of just looks like businesses rather than shops. There's an awesome little statue in the middle of Sunnyside. No idea what it's meant to represent, but it looks cool nonetheless. What's this I see over here? All illuminated in blue and pink. I imagine people watching these videos must think I've never left my house, because when I'm wandering around these places I'm coming across new things all the time that I've never seen before. So what's this area? Diego's. Any idea what Diego's is? Is it a bar? Is it a restaurant? Wow. I've never been there before, like.
It's kind of a little place, mate. Opening in 2023.
What's your name anyway?
Gary, buddy.
Nice to meet you, man. Danny.
Nice to meet you, mate.
We've been given access to Diego's, is this called?
Diego's joint, yes, mate.
Diego's joint before it even opens. Gonna go grab ourselves a little latte. Oh, I like it in here. Nice and cosy. I love this artwork on the wall here. This class. Nice comfy seats as well. I think I might grab one of these seats and chill out for 5 minutes. I want to head to the winter gardens after here, but it's not open until about 9:30, so we've got still about half an hour to kill.
Everything's here is community based, so any of the profits we do make in ways or forms goes back into stuff. Whether it be Monday we do a digital drop-in, so in a couple of hours people will be in with laptops and I'll teach them literally anything from the basis of Fiona will teach them, if she's in, from turning a PC on, because some people don't know how technology works.
There you go, guys, we're getting early VIP access to Diego's. That's mad, because I was walking past the shop and he must have seen us, and he came over and he offered us to have a dodge in before opening hours to grab a coffee, and we had a nice little chat. So get yourself down to Diego's in Sunnyside and grab yourself a coffee, and I'm not gonna lie, that is a very fine coffee indeed. So I'm well happy with that. Just what I needed on a cold day like this to warm us up and give us a bit of energy to kickstart the day. But this is what I meant by this kind of area is very old school, with all the cobbly streets. I love that look though. It's like a little villagey style look of the old style buildings and the cobbled streets. Kind of reminds us a little bit of like York in a way. I absolutely love York, by the way. I've only been a couple of times, but every time I've been down there it's absolutely booming. No matter what time you hit York city centre, the place is just full to the brim with people. You get a lot of like stag do's and wedding do's and that down there. Thai massage. You know what, guys, I've never had a massage in my life. I reckon that would make for a decent vlog. Go and get myself a Thai massage. If there's anyone out there that wants to give us a massage, drop us a message. What's going on here? We've got roadworks all over the place up there. But this is a cool building in front of us. The Horizon building. I think, I might be wrong, but I think that's all flats now. It used to be like businesses and stuff in there, but I think it's just been converted into apartments and flats. I don't know, someone will correct us in the comments anyway if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's the case now of the Horizon building. Alright, the rain is absolutely pouring down now. I'm gonna get soaked today. Hopefully we wouldn't spend most of our time in the bridges. But this building here we've got Sunderland Software Centre. That's part of the university. It's mad because Sunderland University is proper spread out across town. I think there's about 5 different buildings, maybe even more. You've got some across the water and that as well. It's all like spread out around the city. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but each building has obviously got their own individual education centres and stuff. So this is the software centre. Well, this is where we want to be, guys. The Winter Gardens. These apartments up here as well, these are another nice apartments. Be nice if you had one of them and you just got the view of Mowbray Park straight out of your window. Open your blinds on a morning. What a view. Right, before we head in to the Winter Gardens, I want to check out this monument. So it's got on there 1939 to 1945, which would be the Second World War, I believe. So this is in remembrance for all of the people that lost their lives in the Second World War. So you've got like people's names on these different stones from all the different locations. Bosnia, the Gulf, the Falkland Islands, and then obviously you've got the poppy reeves around there as well. Beautiful monument here in Mowbray Park. Like, I can't even imagine what it must have been like to go through a world war, and to think we are so close now to World War III. Like, it seems like every other country is at conflict with each other, especially with what's happening in Russia and Ukraine, and it just seems to be kicking off all over the world. And now you've got nuclear weapons. God forbid if anyone hits that red button. I think World War III, that would be it. Like, that would be the end of civilization as we know it. So fingers crossed it doesn't happen. Alright, let's go check out the museum and the Winter Gardens. Morning, man. You alright? Alright, so I'm gonna take you around some of my favourite parts of the museum. I used to love this place growing up as a kid. I'm not gonna lie though, I was always on this side of the museum. I was never really interested in that side. That side's all the artwork and stuff, and I always found that a little bit boring. But this is what I was all about. Check this out, man. How awesome is this? I always remember this massive lion. And then you've got the old Nissan car in the back there. Wallace the lion. He's been with the museum since 1879. Wow. That is a very long time. But check out that little bike in the back there. Imagine bombing around the streets on one of them bad boys now. This is another awesome little piece that I used to love as well. The old diving suits. Coal mines, I remember this bit as well. This was another favourite of mine. Very dark in here though, don't know how much you'll be able to see. But can anyone remember this bit here? It's all closed off now. You could actually crawl through it when you were younger. It was only small, but it would take you like around here. And then you'd come out this side, and it was supposed to resemble like a coal mine. And I always remember doing that as a kid. We would come in here and we would play hide and seek. Times have changed loads, man. Look at how old this equipment is. This is some sort of like something you would find in a hospital or a doctor's maybe. I mean, how does that hold up to the kitchen these days? Anyone fancy a game of Cluedo? So now we are right in the coal mines. I can't even imagine what it must have been like working down in the mines. Must have been such a hard job. Was it Margaret Thatcher that closed them all down? So I think I'm gonna have a wander across the floors in the museum, and then we'll head into the Winter Gardens. Wow, so this was an actual boat, and this dates back to about 700 years ago. This is what boats were like 700 years ago. how on earth did we go from this to the likes of the Titanic? When you see a 700 years old, you think that's like a really long time. But in the grand scheme of things, it's nothing. I think the world's like 4.5 billion years old. So 700 years ago is like nothing at all. Aye, this was always my favourite floor of the museum. And I always used to start at this side and check out the dinners from 1919. This is what people would eat. Cow heel pie, 1949. Panaculty. Still a favourite on the menu here in the UK. Swear to God, we still eat like we're in World War II. 1969, what we got. Steak and kidney pie with carrots and potatoes. And last but not least, 1999, we've got pizza, chips and baked beans. I'm not gonna lie, if I came home from graft and this was served up to us, should be getting divorced. Oh my god, check out the PC. I remember having a PC like that. The massive screen. And can you remember the mouse? The mice used to have like a little ball in the bottom. And you would have to take it out and clean it when it would get dirty. But an old style bedroom with some records. I think records are back in the fashion now. At least as a collectible anyway. People are starting to collect them today. I bet you a lot of them from back in the day are worth quite a bit of money. So this is interesting, guys, check this out. 1919, a pint of beer would be 2.5 pence. A car, brand new car, was only 200 quid. And that was what, just over 100 years ago? Moving all the way up to 1999, even back then a pint of beer was only 2 quid. I mean, to be fair, there are still a few places around town that offer beer for not much more than 2 quid. Loaf of bread has pretty much doubled in price, 50 pence back then. Probably more than double, to be fair. Probably about 150 now for a loaf of clovers. And a car, 10,500. Again, I think a brand new car now probably averages about 40 grand. So inflation for yous. This is another little area. It's all being blocked off now. You can't get in these sort of things anymore. Used to be able to get in there as a kid and play with the toys and stuff. They're taking all the fun out of things. What's going on? How awesome is that? Look at all the crystals in there. Wow, check that out. I wonder if they're actually worth a lot of money. This is my favourite bit. With all the stuffed animals. The size of the mouse head. I don't think people realise how big mouse actually are. They're absolutely huge. Check this out. I used to always like guessing what these are as well. You've got different numbers on all of these, and then under here you've got to flick them over and you've got to guess what's what. Number 4, look how cute that is. Tiny little skull. Can you guess what number 4 is? A monkey's skull. That's awful. But I remember around this bit there used to be like a tarantula and some lobsters in like a fish tank in this area, but that's all gone now. I don't think they've got any live animals in here now. Used to be live fish. And this bit here, this always reminded me of the Titanic for some reason. At the bottom of the Titanic. I don't know how much you can see in here because it's very dark, very gloomy. This is where all the model boats and stuff are. And I always remember on this globe someone had scrubbed off the UK. I wonder if they've put it back on. Nope. Still scrubbed off. It's been like that forever. Someone's peeled it off. I'm not gonna lie, when it comes to history and things, I'm the worst person for it. That's why I didn't really like to add history into these videos. Or I didn't really like to explain things as I'm walking around because I'm kind of clueless. And I think it works better by me asking questions and you guys giving me the answers, and it kind of gets you engaging in conversation in the comments and stuff. So I feel it works better that way, rather than me just walking around giving you like a history lesson, because I just wouldn't be very good at it at all. I like to just walk around and explore and ask questions as we go. I always remember this bit as a kid as well. This vice. You used to be able to turn it and it would open up and close, and we would stick a 2p piece in and we would bend the 2p. But they've took the handle off it so you can't move it anymore. Which is probably a good idea, because you probably get kids sticking their hands in, crushing their hands. Right, I'm going to have a little wander around the winter gardens. We're going around the bottom first, and then we'll make our way up the top and check out some of the views from up there. I wonder if they've still got the fish in here. I haven't been here for a while, to be honest. But you do get a lot of these dinosaurs and stuff walking around throughout the trees. I wonder if there's like a little trail that the kids can do, where they've got to go around and find all the dinosaurs or something. But how awesome is this, man? It's like a little jungle. And yes, indeed, we've got the fish. Absolute huge fish as well. Look at the size of them. Absolutely massive. And they always come up here as well, as if like they're expecting a feed. Oh, that's a beautiful one, the white one. Hello, fishy fishy. Do you reckon if I stuck my hand in, it would just like eat me hand? Tap my finger clean off? Look at the way it's opening its mouth. Awesome. Tell you what though, it's absolutely red hot in here. It's like a greenhouse. Lol. I bet you though there's some massive spiders hiding amongst these trees, you know. I absolutely hate spiders. I've got a massive arachnophobia. Now guys, is the lift gonna be working? That's the question. I don't think the lift in here has worked for a good 10 years. It's always been out of order. Oh, it actually works. Anyway, the lift is back in action. Every time I've been in here, the lift's always been out of order. I think I'm gonna take the lift up and then we'll come down the stairs. Tree top walkway. That's where we want to be. See if we get some nice views from the window. Not gonna lie, the outside of the windows could use a clean. But how awesome does that look? We're now above all the trees. That looks sick. Let's go, let's see what's up here. Other than awesome views. I think it's just a walkway that takes you all the way around. I don't think there's actually anything to do here. How the winter gardens work, a bird's eye view. I'm sure there used to be some sort of like fossils and stuff up here in this little area. There used to be fossils that you could reach in and grab, but looks like they're doing some sort of work here now. Tell you what, you never trust the weather, man. It looks absolutely beautiful out there now. When I checked last night, it said it was going to be thunderstorms, 40-mile-an-hour winds, rain, and it's just absolutely beaming down the sun. Right, we're gonna make our way back down now, and I'm gonna head into the bridges. I think we'll have a wander through the bridges, see how that's changed over time. I very rarely come down the town these days, so I've got no idea what it's like in the bridges. Let's go down the stairs, shall we? I was always a little rebel when I was a kid as well. Do not touch the water fountain. You know we're gonna touch the water fountain. Yay! Oh, that nice lovely breeze as you walk out of there. Somewhere around here there was like a bridge, if you can remember it, like a metal bridge that would take you all the way up towards Park Lane where Food Giant was. And you could walk along the metal bridge and you would see the train tracks and trains flying past. And I always remember walking up there as a youngster with my nana and my granddad towards Food Giant. But that's all gone now. Completely different. Oh, and actually while we're up here, we can check this out. I've never been in here yet. The new train station. Oh, actually there's so many things up here I want to see. We've got Blandford Street as well. We'll have a wander down Blandford Street in a bit. Sunderland station. Let's check it out. Not gonna lie, it looks very modern compared to the old train station. I wonder what it's like inside. There we go, we're in. And this is the new Sunderland train station, guys. It looks absolutely huge, but it's like, it's very empty. I didn't really know what I was expecting, but there's not like many seats around. I think maybe there's a little bit of artwork in here to brighten the place up a little bit. But, let's head down onto the tracks and see if there's any improvement being made down here, or if it's just the same old station underneath and they've just modernised the top bit. Yeah, so down here it's just pretty much the same station. Doesn't look like anything's changed down here. It just looks like they've upgraded the top bit. From the outside it looks nice, not gonna lie. Inside I'm a little bit disappointed. What's your thought on train prices these days? I think they're absolutely extortionate. I think when I was checking for a train to London, a return ticket, you're looking at almost 100 quid for a return ticket, which is mental. When you go to other places in Europe, like Italy, we only paid like €15, might have even been less, for a train all the way from Rome to Venice, which is like pretty much the bottom end of Italy to the top end. For €15, yeah, you get a train from Sunderland to London, it'll cost you 5 times that. Emerson's Pet Store. This was always one of my favourite places in town when I would come down as a kid. I would just go in here and look at the kittens and the puppies and stuff and check out all the animals. Let's see if they'll show us any animals. It's a shame the guy in the pet shop wasn't very comfortable being on camera. He didn't really want us filming in the shop. It's just one of them things, you know, some people didn't want to be on camera. But maybe next time. But we're going to head into the bridges now. This is what everyone wants to see. See how the bridges has changed over the years, and we'll probably hit Jatty White's first, actually, because Jatty White's is on this end. But can anyone remember when there used to be like a massive monument here? It was like a circular monument. Can't really describe how it used to look. It was kind of like, I don't know, like a bridge sort of thing with like holes in. I just remember climbing around it as a kid. It's like a massive monument in the middle of here. Well, that was a long, long time ago. Anyway, let's check out the bridges. Tesco's as well. This has moved outside of the bridges now. Last time I was in town, Tesco's was inside the bridges. That shows how long ago it was when I was last time in. Greg's Cafe absolutely booming. But this is what everyone wants to see, Jatty White's Market. Someone said, go in Jatty White's Market and see if it still stinks of fish. And let's walk around and see if I'll give you confirmation. But this place is really busy, to be fair. Got a nice sweet shop on that there. Fruit and veg shop. Got it all going on in Jatty White. I remember there used to be like a little game stall about here. I would come and buy games and stuff. But that's all changed now. Everything's changed down here. It's completely different. Something smells amazing though. As I walk down here, must be some sort of food place down here. It smells unreal. But I can confirm I cannot smell any fish yet. Someone mentioned a jacket potato place in here actually, which is meant to be nice. The Market Cafe. Is this the same cafe that's been there for years? That's another place I remember coming to when I was a young'un with my nana. But oh, this is the type of stuff I'm into. Figurines and that. Also they sell games and that as well in here. The thing is, I don't really think people buy games these days. I think it's mostly online, you just download them now. I think it's more for like collectors and stuff, picking up the DVDs and the box sets and that. Most people just download them now. Oh, this is it, the Jacket Inn. A few people mentioned this place, the Jacket Inn. You alright?
Alright mate, you alright?
That's meant to be nice for food. But I've got pie lined up later on, so I need to try and save myself a little bit. But I did notice there's a milkshake bar actually, just at the beginning of Jatty White. I might grab a milkshake and walk around with a milkshake. Or maybe that's why I cannot smell fish. The fish counter's off today. Or maybe it's closed permanently. I've got no idea. You alright? I will grab a milkshake. What kind of milkshake? Oh, that is the question. Yeah, right. I fancy a milkshake.
Right.
I didn't really know which one I want.
What is white? When I would say Ferrero Rocher.
Oh, Ferrero Rocher sounds nice. Like.
Yeah.
I'll have a Ferrero Rocher one, please.
What size?
Just a regular, please. There we go. Ice cream and Ferrero Rocher. I haven't had a good milkshake in a while, to be honest. I'm not forward to this. I needed the coffee to warm us up this morning. Now I need a milkshake to cool us down. I'm absolutely swamped. This is the milkshake bar in Jetty Whites. Get yourself down there for a nice little milkshake. Got loads of different flavours in that on. All the different chocolates in that on the top there. You can choose from. There we go, guys. Look at the size of that. Nice thick milkshake Ferrero Rocher. Let's give this a blast. Wow. You can taste the chunks of the Ferrero Rocher in there. Nice thick ice cream as well. That is complete and utter perfection. Exactly what I needed on a day like this. Let's have a mooch around the bridges while we sup on this. Thank you.
Thanks, mate.
So this was a regular milkshake. Quite a size, to be honest. £4.50. A little bit expensive, a little bit pricey, but in terms of taste, that is top quality milkshake, that is. Let's have a wander through the bridges and see how much this place has changed since I was last down here. To be honest, the last time I was down here, a lot of these shops were shut. All the shutters and that were down, they were derelict, but I haven't seen one shop yet that's shut down. Oh, as I mentioned that actually, we're walking past one. And another one. So there is quite a few units in here that are still derelict. Plenty of places to get a business open down here. But I've heard that the rent and that in the bridges is really high, and maybe that's why places are closing down. And it's a mixture of not making enough money and rents being ridiculous. So there's not really much down this end other than Primark. But this is the old place where Tesco's and that used to be, and it's all just been boarded up now. They haven't even got any shop fronts, which is a shame because you would probably get about 5 or 6 shops there, maybe even more. It's a shame to see that much space wasted. Maybe they're just waiting for people to come in and rent the place. Who knows? Unfortunately, I'm going to have to head out of the bridges, guys. We're getting kicked out. Security's just come round and said we're not allowed to film inside the bridges, which I think's a bit stupid. It's like a public space. If I get in any shops, I always ask for permission to film in the shops, and if they say no, then I just put the camera down. But we're not allowed to film in here apparently. So we're going to head out and mooch around the streets. Now walking out of here, this makes me so sad. Just to see this empty space here. This is where the leisure centre used to be, and honestly I was so gutted when they got rid of the leisure centre. I still am. Like, looking back now when you see pictures and videos and stuff, there's just so many good memories in the leisure centre. I remember you could come to town with a £5, that would be your bus there and back. You'd be able to get entrance to the leisure centre for swimming, and then you'd also have some money left over for food as well. But they knocked it all down. They should have just revamped the place, or at least build a new leisure centre. I feel like that's something that Sunderland city centre's missing now. A big leisure centre. I think something like that would bring loads of people to the city. But it's a shame, man. I mean, it does look like they're building something there now, but I've got no idea what. Hopefully it's something decent. It's a massive plot of land that. You get something huge in there. I'm not really going to venture into Kale Square much because I touched on that a couple of videos ago. So we're going to have a wander around this part of town. We've got this massive building over the road there, the fire station. I've never been in, but I've heard it's a really good venue for food and drinks. And I think they have like live music and that on every now and again. So maybe we'll check that out one night. We'll get in there. But the Empire Theatre, another lovely building, slap bang in the middle of Sunderland. But I tell you what, whenever there's a big show on at Empire, like the Lion King or Wicked, tickets sell out extremely quickly, man. I think I've only ever been in there 3 or 4 times in my life. I'm not a massive fan of musicals anyway, but the Lion King was superb. I'm going to go up here and check this church out. What's this church called? Sunderland Minster. Let's have a wander around here. I'm pretty sure this is the church that rings the bells as well. You always hear the bells ringing out. What's the crack with that? Do they ring them out every hour, or do they only ring them out for special occasions, or what? You always hear them ringing out from this one though. I remember coming up with this church when I was younger, when my nan and granddad used to live in Millfield, and we always used to feed the pigeons up here in this little square. There used to be hundreds of pigeons used to flock up here. This is where we'd come to feed them. I think this is a nice little place to sit and chill. Oh man, I'm not gonna lie, walking up here, this feels so wrong. This used to be all the leisure centre, and then on this side, years ago, you would have a massive ice rink. But you would walk through this little tunnel here, and you could always smell the chlorine from the water. And you could like look through the window and see people going down the slide and just having an absolute blast. But they've took all the fun out of life, guys. There's no fun left in Sunderland. This side of town here, whenever I come out for a night out, which I'm not gonna lie, isn't very often, this side of town's always quiet, it's always dead. I remember when you used to have like the Lamp and Worm and that here, that used to always be busy. That's another one that's closed down. I have heard though good things about this place. The Rio Brazilian Steakhouse, that's just opened up. I think I literally just had the opening night a couple of nights ago. I haven't been last night, to be fair. But from what I've seen online, it does look incredible, the food. It looks pretty pricey. I think it's about 40 quid for an evening meal. But it's like unlimited steak, unlimited food, I believe, I think. Anyway, whatever I see in these videos, just take it all with a pinch of salt, because I haven't got a clue what I'm talking about. But it does look lovely. I'm definitely going to give it a try one time. Just need to see about a bit of money, you know what I'm saying? Unless, Rio, if you're watching this video, if you want to invite us in to try your scran, I'll happily pop down, drop us a message. There's some nice little boozers around here though. You got the Canny Lad, you got Rumour Has It, another nice little restaurant. Never tried it again, but from what I've seen online, it looks really nice. Next door you've got the Terrace, and then you've got Life of Riley. I remember when that used to be the Glass Spider back in my time. And then what was it on this side? What was this one called? The big nightclub that had like the jacuzzi, isn't that in? I can't remember what it was called. Was it Illusions? Nah, Illusions is what Passion used to be. Passion turned to Illusions. I can't remember that one. Oh, Liquid. Was it Liquid? Might have been Liquid. I don't know, I'm sure someone will remember. And there's my favourite pub of all, the Cooper Rose. Kind of going wrong for Wetherspoons. Cheap and cheerful, does the job. That's what I'm all about. Chileno's as well. Chileno's is the #1 go-to spot after a night out. Oh, this is Pied actually. I thought Pied was around near Kale Square. This is the place I'm going to pop into later on. I thought it was over near Kale Square. If that's it, it's ideal because it's right around the corner from where I'm doing the podcast in a bit. So as soon as we finish the podcast, we'll pop there for some scran. Haze travel, nobody else is your more. The Point. Can anyone remember when this place used to be a cinema years ago? I remember going to watch The Mask with Jim Carrey. I think that was one of the first films I seen there. Now it's a nightclub, and I think the whole like boxing events and stuff. Speaking of boxing events at The Point, I've been invited to an event in a few weeks' time if it all goes to plan. I don't know if it's like an MMA fight or something, but we could be checking out The Point. I've never been in there for years. Around here's changed loads as well. We got King's Chicken That was always a go-to place when whenever we'd gone swimming at the leisure centre, we'd come out of there and go for some food. We'd go and grab some chicken from here. I can't remember if it was called King's back then though. I always remember it was a chicken joint. We've got Ada's bar there now. That's where Cleo's bar used to be. It got shut down. There was a lot of controversy around Cleo's bar. So it got closed down for a while. It's now Ada's bar. It's very opened. I've never been in. But every time I've walked past it, I always seems to be booming. Got the karaoke and that on there. Just up this way, this is where Food Giant and that used to be. I think it was Food Giant and then did Netto take over. Can't really remember, but now that's part of the Sunderland College. So it's absolutely changed, you know. This is probably the worst part of the town to walk around. We've got everyone spotting us left, right and centre here. But Sunderland Interchange bus station. I need to be around this area in a bit anyway, so we'll have a much up this way. This is completely different to the old bus station, if you can remember the old one. The old bus station that used to be at the back of the bridges. That must have been a solid 30 years ago. Just goes to show how old I am now. And also we've got another Greg's, of course. Greg's all over the place, every single corner you turn around. Chaplin's, absolutely flying the England flag there. I don't think I've ever seen so many England flags on one building. I love it. Looks amazing. Got to be proud to fly the England flag. Actually, I almost forgot, guys. I said I was going to head down Blandford Street, and I've still got a little bit of time to kill, so that's where we're going to head. Someone also said they wanted to see the unseen side of Sunderland, down the back alleys and stuff. So this is what it looks like down the back alleys of Sunderland city centre. Now it is, I'm not gonna lie. It's actually really clean and tidy around here. Plenty of bins, no rubbish lying around on the floors. Nice to see. Keep them rats away. Right, we've got the Debenhams building here. Absolutely huge building. And obviously that's all closed down now. It'd be interesting to see what they do with that building. I reckon they should just rent it out to like multiple different businesses. Kind of like what Debenhams was in a way anyway. You just have different departments throughout the whole building. And I think that would fill the space up nicely. Be a shame to just knock the whole thing down. Put it to use, I reckon. That's what I say. But this is Blandford Street. Walking down here. And looks a bit run down, if I'm being honest. Doesn't look great. You know me, guys, I'll always be honest. But this used to be Peacock's, if I remember correctly. Clothes shop, and then it burnt down. And they just decided to knock the entire building down. They've built like a brand new road, not through there now. Has much changed since you were last down here? Or is it the same old Blandford Street? I always remember toys, cards and games. That's been there forever. I used to get me Pokemon cards and that from there. Walking down here, so there's quite a few charity shops and that down here. The Blandford pub, is that another one that's closed down? I don't know, it feels like this side of town definitely needs some sort of money pumped into it. Feels like it needs a big revamp. Just it feels very run down. That's probably the best way to describe it. This street here, this is where the old bus station used to be. I imagine some of you older folks on Facebook, I remember this. This is where the old bus station used to be before they built the interchange. But as I was saying, that's got to have been a good 30 years or so ago since then. Yeah, mate. I must have still been like in me pram. But I can still remember it, you know, and you still got them little memories kicking at the back of your head. That's one of the memories of the old bus station. Back here behind the bridges. A few people had mentioned the Flower Cafe, and it does look pretty nice from out there. So I think I want to head inside here and grab a coffee before we head off to do the podcast. This looks like a lush little place to sit down and chill for 5. Oh, this looks really nice in here. I love how they've done it all out with the flowers and stuff, the cherry blossom trees. Alright guys, how incredible is the inside of this building? This looks insane. We've grabbed ourselves a little latte, and we've got a little love heart on the top there, if you can see that. But they do food and that in here as well. They do like breakfasts, sandwiches, cakes, that sort of thing. But we just opted for a nice latte. I'm not gonna lie, this is probably one of the nicest looking cats I've ever seen in Sunderland. Absolutely beautiful, the inside of this building. Let's give this latte a try. Oh, that is lovely. Rich and creamy, just how I like it. Now this is something I didn't do enough of. Just sitting down and chilling with a nice cuppa in a little nice cafe like this. I need to do it more often, because I feel like at the minute I'm just on the go all the time. Like I feel like I'm working 2 full-time jobs and I'm just working around the clock. I'm literally non-stop. If I'm not at my usual daytime job, I'm editing videos or I'm out filming, and I didn't really get a lot of time to just sit down and chill. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to sit down and chill for 10 minutes. This is my day off work as well, so I'm off work and I'm out filming, constantly on the go all the time. You know, I've had a few comments on Facebook on that recently saying like, has this guy actually got a job? I don't think people realise how time consuming social media actually is. I probably spend more time just filming and editing videos than I do in my full-time job. So I already work a 40-hour job outside of social media, and then I probably spend more than 40 hours a week just editing videos and making content. So it is very time consuming. I know it looks like a lot of fun on camera, and then it goes wrong, I absolutely love it. But it is hard work. It's not easy. It's not as easy as what people think. Flower cat, I'm impressed with the venue and the coffee. I think I'll be here more often. So I did mention that I'm going to be doing a podcast today. It's not going to be in this video. I'm not going to be doing any recording of the podcast in this video. But I'll leave a link in the description if you want to go and check it out on the Content Cast YouTube channel. It's a lad named Ads. Never met him before. It's the first time I'll be meeting him today. So I'm looking forward to getting an arm and speaking to him and checking out his podcast, his little studio. Cheers, thank you. Cheers, mate. See you later. Well, that was exactly what I needed, guys. Nice coffee. Still haven't had a Monster yet, though. I'll have to try and find somewhere for a Monster. The rain's starting again. But this is Kale Square for you, if you didn't see it in the last video. Last time I was down here, it was when the new bridge opened and they had all the fireworks and stuff on, and it was the Women's Rugby World Cup game. So this place was absolutely heaving. And I did see it's normally quiet around this end, and this is proof of it. Every time I've walked around here, unless there's an event on, so I was quiet around here. Can it be good for business, surely? Right, hide. Let's check it out. Oh, hello, mate.
Are you alright?
You alright? Chris?
Chris?
Danny, nice to meet you.
We'll do that for minutes,
what we got on the menu today then?
Brisket pies,
Brisket
which is
pies.
the one that everyone goes for. I've done like thousands of them in like 6 months now.
Am I right in thinking this used to be in Roper?
Yes.
And then you moved here?
Moved over here. So basically I used to have a kitchen over in Hendon, which I used on the evenings, baked through the night, sold in Roper, but now I've got the kitchen here and sell here. So that's like half me bills.
Is this a pies in here?
Yeah, so I've got the beef brisket, my mince pies on, and I've got Chinese chicken curry on as well.
Champion brisket sounds amazing, like.
It's the one. Mashed peas.
Yes, please, aye.
Sitting in or taking out?
I'll sit in, mate. Am I right to sit in the corner?
Yeah.
Champion, thank you very much. Tell you what, I haven't had a good pie in the ages, guys, so I'm excited for this. Beef brisket as well. Never tried a beef brisket pie before. Massive beef brisket pie with some mash, some mushy peas, smothered in gravy. I'm excited to try this. This looks incredible. I'm gonna dig straight in with this pie, cut this bad boy up and show you what's inside. Massive chunks of beef brisket there. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't even realise you could get beef brisket pie. This is the first. I'm gonna give this brisket a try. Guys, I'm not even kidding. That is phenomenal. Wow. We'll try it with a bit of pastry, some mushy peas, a bit of mash. That is the perfect combination. The pastry on the pie, nice and crispy. The brisket is cooked to absolute perfection. It's so soft. It just melts in the mouth. How incredible does that look, man? You didn't even have to chew it. It just literally melts in your mouth. I'm not even kidding. This might be the nicest pie I've ever tried in my entire life. So we've got a bit of everything here. We've got the brisket. We've got some mash, some mushy peas, and then we got some pastry of the pie. A match made in heaven right there. The pie is absolutely filled to the brim with brisket. Look at that, absolutely chock-a-block. That's an absolute mouth sensation. It's not just the pie that's amazing. The mash is so creamy, so soft. That's lush. This is like the perfect meal. I need it today. When the weather's crap outside, it's cold, it's wet, it's rainy, it's windy. Get yourself in a pie, sit down, chill out, and have yourself a nice homemade brisket pie. Well guys, I am well and truly defeated from that pie. Honestly, one of the nicest pies I've ever tried in my life. From Pied, get yourself here. Get yourself some pie and mash, just opposite Tonic. Honestly, you wouldn't regret it, man. I'm so full. There is one more place that I said I would go to this morning, and that is, as we need to get took out by a seagull, Sports Direct. Let's check it out. I want to get myself a new cap. I've had this cap for absolutely ages. I'm just hoping they'll let us record now. I've been getting kicked out of every single shop today. So let's grab ourselves a cap. Boom. What do you reckon, guys? What do you think of the new cap? I think it looks decent. Nice little different colour there. But once again, they wouldn't let us film in the shops. What is it with Sunderland City Centre and not letting us film in the shops? I mean, we did manage to get some footage in some shops, but not as many as I would have liked. Everyone's so strict around here. Anyway, I think I'm gonna go and pay for parking now. I'm actually dreading to see how much this has cost me to park in here. I've been out for about 5 hours. So let's check out St Mary's car park and see how much this costs. That's one of the things about Sunderland City Centre as well. The car parking prices are ridiculous. 6 hours, £9.60. Been robbed here. I cannot believe I've just been charged £9.60 for 6 hours in a car park. I could have just stuck that in my car and drove to the Metro Centre, parked for free, and had a much better selection of shops. Absolutely disgusting. Neither one anyone wants to come to the town, man. The friggin' prices like that. We're gonna end it right here where we started, guys, with a lovely view out onto the River Wear. Look at that. Beauty. Sunderland is beautiful though. Anyway, I hope you have enjoyed this video. It's been a nice mooch around the town. We've tried some different foods and stuff, had some awesome little experiences. Let us know what you thought of the video in the comments below, and how has the town changed since you were last down here. Has it changed for better or has it changed for worse? Who knows? Anyway, let us know what you want to see next time, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace.